Hello, this is Encroaching Madness on Brutal difficulty with a particularly stupid meme build. Let's allow the announcer to explain the map.
Welcome to the jungle, Commanders! Hope you like fun and games. Long-term exposure to terrazine provides plenty of both. Trust me. Someone out there is making a game of destroying my bots, though. They're ruining my research. I need you to guard those bots.
Alright, so this map is on Mist, the longest map in the game. There is a Purifier Beam because the mutators at play here are Eminent Domain, Purifier Beam, obviously because it's right there, and Void Rifts, which is the big problem. Now, the commanders that we have are P2 Swann and P1 Karax. What they expect of this map is Void Rifts will just randomly spawn everywhere. One way you could deal with Void Rifts is to just put turrets everywhere, which is why there's a Purifier Beam. The Purifier Beam will go over, hit the turret, and eventually kill it, to which Eminent Domain will kick it and give all of the turrets that are killed over to the enemy. Now, because we 100% know that there is going to be Void Rift spawning, over here, we're getting, cannons down early to deal with the spittle. These cannons, these initial Void Rifts, spawn before any hero unit in the game, so it's incredibly unfortunate to actually deal with them. Now, this Purifier Beam is going to hit this photon cannon first. There is, however, a weird, sort of unfortunate reality of Amon stealing, a photon cannons that will be exemplified by this thing. As you can see, the random units of various races coming through. The turret will kill the bad turret before it actually goes down. Now, Karax healing from P1. Not only can he heal twice as many units, the healing rate is actually doubled, which is increased even further by the mastery rate put into it. Swann is going to be spacing out multiple of the turrets, just sort of everywhere, so that we can get this. Now, it is going down, but Swann P2 has turret upgrades that are more efficient. One of the turret upgrades that we get immediately, which is now kicking in, is auto heal. The auto heal plus Karax regen outpaces the Purifier Beam indefinitely. As such, the Purifier Beam is just stuck here now. As it will go towards the most nearby unit of combat worth, which includes turrets, it's just going to sit there. Now, these Void Rifts are going to spawn continually around the map. The Ares here was used to push in, as well as get rid of some Void Rifts, and then we're going to continue to do so all the way for those. And we're just going to randomly build more and more turrets across the entire map and just deal with it. They can't do anything. Now, Swann turrets are really good. Flaming Betties, especially against Zerg, just sort of wreck. Meanwhile, the missile turrets are really good against Air Zerg. Now, we really want to hit the Void Rift right here. There's going to be 3 Purifier Beams, and our goal is to bait them into 3 different Swann turrets. Because if we can do this, then we're basically playing with 3 spots on the map that we can't go to, and 2 mutators, one of which is still Void Rifts, but it's less of a concern. As the Void Rift spawned next to a turret, then, like, you know, it went down. Karax is working on getting his next expansion. Swann doesn't need the expansion. Swann is slowly getting missile turret, like, you know, not missile turret, laser drill upgrades. All of the missile turret upgrades have been purchased, so these are basically just beasts. They will, you know, eventually become beasts.
Best of what's left, anyway.
And Karax is also going hard on as many turrets down as possible. Now we know that there's going to be attack waves from over here for the next wave as well as waves later on, so we're lining this with a lot of turrets. As you can see, these poor guys just cannot deal with this lineup. Now unfortunately, these, like, they just, you can't reach them. They spawn all the way over there, all the way over there. Unfortunately, the enemy can't do anything to us either.
That should greatly increase the output of our structures.
Now, the Karax Chrono Wave also affects the turrets from Swann, which is hilarious, by the way. And shockingly, just like 2 Perdition turrets, 2 missile turrets is going to be enough to hold pretty much that whole one side.
And the race is on. Which bot will make it back to me first? My money's on Gary. He always gets the
The Swann plays very fast and loose with how many, like, SCVs make it through. And until we can, like, clear out all of these Void Rifts, like, they're just going to get worse. So Swann is also going Mirages to fly around and randomly scout.
That's a good little bot. Welcome home.
Now, as we do this, Swann is just going to continually lose SCVs, which means he's going to have to continually make more and more of them. As we just randomly put,
I think I have a little less than half the terrors
like,
I
turrets
need.
around.
I guess I'll be sending out more bots.
Unfortunately, that attack wave got far enough in, but he is working
Looks like
on
there
it.
will be more geysers soon. You can always count on Belshir to provide what you need.
Now Karax really wants to get rid of that stupid one right there. So he's going to be
They're siphoning the
pushing with the
terrazine from
Mirage.
Belshir's fauna. Commanders, try to free it if
Gets
you can.
vision, uses the Karax calldowns to hit it. Now as you can see, this Purifier Beam, there's a reason we spaced out all of these. Spawned over here and is going to immediately go to that missile turret. This one is slightly out of reach to be hurt by it at all. Now that Phoenix is going to not succeed. And now this little devil is currently perpetually locked into its forever hellscape of tanking the Purifier Beam forever. These guys are going to push as hard as they can to get that. Meanwhile, Banelings exist. And Swann is going to reinforce this position with more turrets.
Time to save the Belshir glider's life. Try not to forget about it. Being forgotten sucks.
Chrono boost online. Our structure should now operate at a greater efficiency.
Base is under attack.
Now these guys are still pushing in,
Enemies attacking my bots. Jeez, commanders, can't you keep a hold of aggro?
which will help later. Unfortunately, they took one Perdition turret. They don't, however, have my upgrades, so that Perdition turret kind of sucks compared to the other Perdition turret, which is also getting heal. And they took that one also. Feels bad.
Please, please, stop the enemy from breaking my stuff!
Now, because they don't have pylon energy, they can't use any of the cannons that they take. Which just like, you didn't really think that through very far, did you? Now that spawns next to a cannon. Everything spawned next to some cannon somewhere, except for those two up there.
These guys are smashing my bots to pieces. I really don't want to pick up after them.
So, this section, that thing barely survived. That one is completely survived. We're finishing this section up pretty much completely. The Phoenix eventually did get up there to get rid of the stupid cannons.
Well, it's good news for me.
And we are powering through with the missile turret just to get rid of that Broodlord. With the fullest expectation that the Spinning Dizzy will survive the random ground units in the area. As we now slowly push in with various cannons.
Pulse cannon online is under attack. Pulse cannon down. Our allies' base is under attack.
We're going to eventually realize this horrifying attack wave is here. But they will eventually just die to the ensemble of cannons that are everywhere. Because they just can't do enough damage to outpace all of the healing. Now, as we pushed into this section,
Bill Shear's being really generous today. I should really send her a thank you card.
yeah, that's when I just noticed his random Phoenix.
Some geysers are going to be opening in a few moments. My bots can smell them.
The next big attack wave, and by attack wave I mean Purifier Beam, is going to spawn over here, so I have to space these out still in fear. As you can see, the only one that spawned outside of our cannons is that one over there, which we, unfortunately have to pump through to. So I sent those guys in to deal with it.
Our allies are being attacked. Concentrated beam ready.
Now Karax is slowly moving the cannons all the way over. Swann is dealing with baiting out.
There go the bots. They grow up so fast. Daddy loves you!
As we push forward, we sort of get rid of everything,
Base is under attack.
which means that this area is now prime for turret spam. Swann is just going to be randomly building turrets everywhere.
Coming after my bots.
Karax is doing the same, but in the other direction.
Base is under attack. Our allies' base is under attack. Base is under attack. Base.
Now, because we sort of cleared this area out, but not really, Swann is going to be very careful. Karax is going to be just lining this area with tons and tons of turrets. These turrets are so powerful, and because it's air, then just the Spinning Dizzies wreck them. All one of them. The slow progression of map covering continues. Enemy units still spawn down here, but unfortunately for them, this is all they need to stop them. Karax handling his side. And now the third Purifier Beam is spawned.
Base is under attack.
Now, luckily for us, we got turrets over on this side, so we don't have to deal with those spawns. Those waves on this side are still being handled. Meanwhile, this purifier beam has now been successfully baited, and Karax has noticed this and is going to be building exclusively around the purifier beam to its entirety. Meanwhile, Swann is still busy like baiting out all of these buildings.
The enemy has mobilized. We should move to intercept.
Now, putting the buildings in front of it is sort of defending the other cannons because we don't want this cannon to fall. And now all three of the purifier beams have been baited into different spots. Meanwhile, the only Void Rift that didn't spawn next to some turret somewhere was right there, which is why we sent the Ares over to deal with it. The Ares was like, as long as you're here, might as well poke into the bonus area, which we don't care enough to actually get the bonus. But we're dealing with that. Now, these shield batteries. To explain the sort of unfortunate reality of just how little damage the purifier beams actually do, the combination of Swann healing plus Karax P1 healing isn't actually necessary. You could solo this map with just a P1 Karax, because a cannon down with a shield battery in range will outpace the healing of all damage that the purifier beam will do. Now, the fact that we also have Swann healing basically means that it's like just going to stay there forever.
The end is nigh, commanders. So I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to, free that Belshire glider.
Now, Swann has taken his good sweet time to pretty much coat this entire upper section with turrets, which is going to handle the last wave 5 of 5. Meanwhile, Karax is getting the bonus because he got nothing better to do.
Why didn't I think of that?
Now, there is a section that we haven't pushed into that we could of the first bonus. Like, they can spawn down here shards. Luckily, we didn't get any, but they can. So as we are waiting, we're just sort of coating the entire map. As you see, that dies, that dies, that dies. Because there's just turrets everywhere, covering our bases. No, Karax, for Karax reasons, decided that he'll take the left side of the map, while Swann handles the right. Which, you know, Swann can easily handle the right. Unfortunately, because turrets are like single target, Zerglings are actually pretty effective against them. Which is why Perdition turrets like Flaming Betty, which do splash, are very good. The Mirages here are actually going to get a couple kills, even though they weren't meant for that, because, oh well, what else are they going to do? Some call downs to help out. Swann's going to jump in with the turrets to help fortify this bottom area, which got cleared out by his spawn because Zerg.
Concentrated beam online.
The only attack waves that could spawn now are up here. These two sides are down here. So that's where we're fortifying.
Is under attack. Base is under attack.
Another spooky attack wave. Karax is waiting on it. The air just sort of flies by, but then gets hit by missile turrets.
Terrazine tank is full. My bots are making the return trip now. Don't let them get away from you.
Okay, now the big
Our allies.
sort of attack wave that we were waiting for will be up here.
Base is under attack.
You know, that goes down, that goes down, that goes down. Immediately. Somehow Swann just has like more turrets than Karax. And we're both confused about that. We both just like immediately use both our fall downs to just eliminate the big scary hybrid wave. The Chrono Wave also affects my turrets, so the secondary wave that spawns nearby gets eliminated super fast as well. And that's that. There's going to be one more wave, and the map is over. This is the stupidest way
Our allies' base.
to do this mutation, as it was specifically designed around not being able to do this.
Base is under attack.
But there you go.
Base is under attack.
All turrets. As we will slowly watch the harvesting bot trudge towards its position.
Our allies' base is under attack.